Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Lakers, Spurs tonight at Crypto.com Arena, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Lakers are coming off a loss last night. No Bron in Golden State. They took care of us, shot the ball well. We didn't from behind the arc. Uh, they had a late game surge in the second quarter that we never actually recovered from, which kept us at a distance of about 12 to 13 points pretty much the rest of the way. Garbage time in the fourth quarter. I think you guys get the point. Fresh off the All-Star break, team was kind of rusty. Right now, got to go right back home, play the Spurs, and Spurs are also off a back-to-back in that same situation. They played against the Sacramento Kings. Devin Vassell had a big game. I think he went for like 32 points, lots of threes. And Wemby had 5 blocks and 5 steals to go along with double-digit points and rebounds. So, needless to say, we have our hands full with this team that has 11 wins, and one of them was against us. Well, we came into their building and got handed a loss. One of the more embarrassing losses in recent memory. So, we do have to take them seriously, and we should probably come in with a chip on our shoulder, feeling that way, feeling as bad as we did about losing to them after beating them the night before, the game before, where it was a back-to-back in San Antonio. We only see him 3 times, so this is Wemby's only appearance in LA against the Lakers this season as a rookie. If you don't think he's expected to do big things, then you're not paying attention. This is going to be the rookie of the year unless something crazy happens over the next 20-something games. And I really think that he's could have been an all-star this year. If his team was any good, he probably would have been an all-star this year. So with this being the only time he's gonna be able to play in our building on that purple and gold floor, I do expect for him to have a big night, man. I expect for him to want to do career high stuff. And given the fact this is a man who had 10 blocks a couple games ago, um, yeah, you got to take him seriously. You got to treat him like a star, man. He's not quite who he's going to be. Of course, he's a rookie. Missing shots and stuff like that is possible, but defensively, he's going to be a very, very dominant force in this league. Now, we did see him and AD go up against one another in a very demonstrative fashion. AD took the matchup seriously, so I expect for him to do that again tonight. And it's our home court. Of course, we want to protect that, and we don't want to start dropping games all willy-nilly, because at the end of the day, we are fighting for seeding. We want to get that 6th seed spot, and we do need to have a winning record over the next 26 or 25 games, rather, if we want to do that. And this is going to be one of the easier ones that we see over the next couple of weeks. So, with the exception of maybe a Wizards game coming up 2 weeks from now, this is going to be the easiest game we see. So, given the fact that they beat us, I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, you want to go up against San Antonio Spurs and have your best foot forward, take care of the ones you're supposed to win. So, yeah, man, Devin Vassell shot very well against us in the loss that we had against them, and he had about 36 points, shot a bunch of threes. Keldon Johnson had a big night the night before, if I'm not mistaken, when we beat them. He shot well. He's now coming off the bench. He had about 18 points against the Sacramento Kings in a Kings win last night. And, this team ain't very good, man. Jeremy Sohan's kind of in a nice little rhythm. I think he had like 15, 16 points in the last game. You got Trey Jones down there, point guard that you got to take seriously. He's very good when given opportunities to lead. What else, man? The Spurs are a team where they do have a center on their bench that is going to cause trouble, man. He's going to cause trouble. Zach Collins. He's definitely somebody that most Laker fans do not necessarily like. Most people don't seem to like him. To be honest with you, he's not a nice guy, and he comes down there and he usually plays strong, plays with a chip on his shoulder, plays with a certain intent, getting under your skin. And I know better than to not expect antics from him. I just know better, man. He gonna start a fight. He go flop or something. He gonna do something make you not like him, because that's just who he is on the basketball floor. So when we come up against the San Antonio Spurs, I'm always on high alert because of that dude. He's somebody I actually told everybody I wanted the Lakers to go get earlier this season. I believe I said that in the offseason. I just thought he would be a great center to add to our team, to add ridiculous amounts of toughness. The guy that you love to have on your team, with the guy no one wants to go against. You just want one or two of those guys on your team. And I just thought next to Anthony Davis, he would be somewhat of an enforcer and somewhat of a, somebody that can make your team not weak. You got him on your team, ain't nobody just gonna be pushing you around, not unless they want trouble. And so that's the type of dude I want on my team. But I don't think because he has so many people that don't really like him too much, I don't think too many people want him on the team. And I think that's really what gets in the way. But if I had my own squad, he'd probably be somebody that'd be targeted at that center position, especially for our circumstances. But it is what it is, man. The Spurs got him on the squad. He's not winning very much, but in a playoff setting, he's exactly the type of personality I want going up against somebody else. So he had a good start to his season. I don't know where he is right now statistically coming off the bench. But if he happens to have a big night tonight or is making a stand in some way, it will not be a shock to me at all. Who else do they got on this team that you need to take very seriously, man? Malachi Branham's a player I like a lot. I'm not sure where he is in rotation, but he's definitely somebody that I think could do some good things as he continues to develop. What else, man? Their team is a little shaky to me right now as far as thinking about who they have on it. Blake Wesley, young point guard, shooting guard combination, I believe, actually more so shooting guard, who could do some good things. He was a lottery pick about 5 years ago, developing slowly, lost in the bench of the Spurs. But I think if you take him lightly, he's capable of doing good things. And going forward, I think he's only going to get better. And I really think he'll get a lot better from here. So, they just have a young team. They're very, very young, man. That's what it really comes down to. They don't always make the smartest decisions as a team. They don't often look for one another. Not the most unselfish bunch, as we know, given the fact that there's so much being said of Wemby being open and them not getting him the ball, running Jeremy Sohan at the point guard position, and he, tends to not want to get Wemby the ball and stuff like that. So I'll be looking for that type of stuff to see if that's continuing to be a problem for the Spurs. And if it is, I expect my team to take advantage of it. Now, given the fact you're going up against Wemby, Anthony Davis, he should be available tonight. I don't think he's on the injury report in any way. Bron is expected to suit up tonight, even though he didn't play in the last one. Much was said about that. We didn't win. It is what it is. But I think the main thing that I'm trying to say about the Spurs is because they have the Zach Collins piece, because we're missing Christian Wood, we're gonna have to really keep AD out of foul trouble. We're gonna need Jackson Hayes to play very well, or this could be another upset if we don't take that center position very seriously. Wemby is gonna be out there doing crazy stuff. We know it. Back to back is not as much of a problem for a 19-year-old or 20-year-old. I just don't see that being an issue for him. He'll be fresh, ready to go, probably as excited to play this game as he probably has played any professional game in America thus far, man. So we need to be aware. We need to be aware of what people feel about playing in this building against us. And given the fact that he's one of the more marquee players going forward, this is his first time in this building. I just know better. We better double him. We better not try to lay the ball up over him and do anything stupid like that, because he is going to be, next to our very own AD, probably the best shot blocker in the game. Him, Rudy Gobert, and AD are the guys. That's who comes to mind for me from here on out defensively. If you're gonna try them, they're gonna send it the other way, man. It just is what it is. And our team has done some stuff like that. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I've seen players like Spencer Dinwiddie and Torian Prince, try to lay the ball up over shot blockers. You just got to identify who is a shot blocker and don't go soft against them. If you're going to try anything, try hammering it, and you have a better chance of getting the foul. Because if you go for a little layup against a guy that we know is a shot blocker, boy, does it get bad for you. It gets real bad for you. So I've seen that too many times with our unit, and we need to just kind of not tonight, especially not with him in the type of shot blocking rhythm that he's in right now. So yeah, man, Devin Vassell, man, elite 3-point shooter, a lot of confidence against the Lakers. He's fresh off the All-Star break, coming in on a heater. I just expect for that to continue tonight. And the last time I said something like that, I was right. Devin Vassell is not to be taken lightly. He's going to be an all-star in this league if he can ever get healthy and his team can ever be any good, I think he'll make an all-star team before he retires at some point. He's a very elite shooter, and I just know that he's in a good rhythm. He's healthy, and that it's rare for him, to be honest with you, but he's definitely somebody that I know is extremely lethal. And if he were on a good team, wow, how much of a floor spacer he could be for that squad. So I have a lot of admiration for his gift on the floor offensively, and I just know that if he goes for a career high tonight, it wouldn't be the first time this season he's done it against us, because that was his career high at 36. So yeah, keep an eye on Devin Vassell, man. They got a nice 1-2 punch with him and Wemby. Keldon Johnson is here and there for me, but since he played well in the last game, gotta take him seriously. And like I said, Trey Jones and Sohan are the players that ultimately complement what it is that they expect their attack to be. So I don't take the Spurs too lightly. I don't expect they'll beat us twice in one season unless we just happen to roll over and give up. I mean, I don't think Wemby's going to be able to beat us unless he plays great and they don't. Our squad just doesn't show up. So I don't see both of those things taking place. I do expect that because we lost last night, the urgency of needing to win, played against a good Golden State team, we should come in with a certain level of intensity. But they played the Sacramento Kings pretty well for what the stats showed me. I didn't watch the highlights of that game, but 128, 122. They put up 122 points on the Kings. The Kings are a high-scoring team, doesn't play any defense. But the point is they can score. They're not deficient in that area. They do have enough guys to put the ball up. They got rebounders. Keldon Johnson, Sohan, Wemby. They're going to rebound the ball. So we need to understand that. Collins, this is not the night to give up size, I guess is what you could say. I know we can go to three-guard lineups that I think actually look pretty interesting to me. Now that we got Spencer Dinwiddie down there, I like what he does on both sides of the floor. Spencer is really, really talented laterally, it seems to me. And even though that wasn't what he was said about him, I like what I see from him when it's time to guard people. So that's exciting. And then you consider D'Lo and Austin, or, combinations of Cam Reddish, of whom is a game time decision tonight, as a three, and then having like Austin and Dinwiddie. I just feel like we have a much stronger three-guard attack than we've probably had. And even though we hate three-guard lineups, from what I'm seeing, our three guards can generally play multiple positions. And Spencer just makes us significantly more capable of defending in those situations, so long as we ask the right people to play the front court positions when doing so. When you put Torian in there, probably not. But Rui Hachimura is definitely helping us in that area. I'm telling you, man, weak side Rui is a real thing. I call him weak side Rui because he can come out of the weak side and block a shot. He swatted Kuminga yesterday to hell. I'm telling you, it was a hell of a block. He's blocking shots every night, man. He really is. And I think with Bron coming back, we could keep our scoring lineup on the floor tonight and should be able to blow the San Antonio Spurs out with that 5-man rotation that looks to score. Him, Austin, D'Lo, Bron and AD. I just think that that's a fantastic starting lineup for us, and I'd love to see how that looks tonight, in a position for us to score the ball again the way that we had been before the All-Star break. So that's what's really exciting to me about this particular night. We're getting our guys back. Bron is back. Max returned yesterday. He should be continuing to try to shake off the rust from missing the last couple weeks. And maybe we get Cam back tonight. So that should make us significantly more capable of defending, for sure, with Max and Cam coming back, and now Dinwiddie in the fold. And hopefully that doesn't hurt our rotations, given the fact that Coach tends to use some wacky stuff when these guys are fresh back and stuff like that. Hopefully he doesn't want to start Cam or nothing like that. I really want our starting lineup to stay exactly the way I just described. I'm a little worried about that because sometimes we break things. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And so that's what I mean by that. I just want us to go with Rui, weak side Rui, man. He's helping us. He didn't score the ball very well in the last game, not for his standards, but we know his efficiency can be ridiculous when he gets into a rhythm, and we want him to do that. D'Lo, I've been forgetting to talk about D'Lo as much. He shot bad last night. This was not a good D'Lo night, but he is in a good stretch for himself. I would say he's having a good season, given the fact that after the trade uh, rumors started floating around, he just turned into his best self. And then the All-Star break hit, and he came back and had a bad game. But hopefully, he can get right back into the confidence that he's in, the role that he's in. We like his passing has been phenomenal over the past month or so, and I just want to see him continue to be confident. His boy Spencer's on the team now, so that should probably boost his morale even higher. And I think that this could be a good night for D'Lo, man. I think we could really take it to this San Antonio team. Their guards are not overly defensive, and as so long as we shoot better from behind the arc than we did last night at 28%, for which D'Lo had a lot to do with missing shots, I think we could do some good things against Wemby. Don't be surprised if Wemby blocks a 3-point shot. I don't think anybody would be. 7'5" with 20,000-foot wingspan, so he's one of the rare players in this league that he may block a shot from behind the arc. It's possible. So I just want to throw that tidbit in there, but. All in all, I can't imagine the Lakers continue to shoot as bad as we did last night. We're coming home. We did get that run yesterday to run some rust off. And with the back-to-back, we don't get any time to really lick our wounds, but we do get to stay in that rhythm, and nobody should be overly tired given the fact that it was a 45-minute flight from Frisco to L.A. And everybody's been rested. So hopefully this can be a good game for the Lakers because we really, really need this win. We got Clippers, we got Suns, we got Thunder, we got Wizards, we got a lot of teams coming up that we're gonna have to face, and this is probably our best chance of winning, I believe. Maybe the Wizards actually, but you get the point. So yeah, man, I'm excited about the Lakers just bouncing back from last night. That Golden State win was a little lackluster, but we felt like if we had Bron out there, we probably would have won it. Or at least would have had a much better shot of not being. With the spread being so bad offensively for us. So, yeah, man, that's what comes to mind. The Lakers are going to be wearing their ugly purple road uniforms that I cannot stand, that we often lose in. Hopefully they abolish those things forever. Just replace them with the Kobe Mamba Blacks, please. Get the ugly purple jerseys the hell up out of here, man. We never win in them anyway. So we're wearing those at home, and the Spurs will be wearing the traditional whites. And, If anything, I could tell you I didn't do a whole lot of homework on the Spurs prior to their game with Sacramento because I'm a firm believer it's almost like a new season in a way after the All-Star break for a lot of teams, and I just didn't do a lot of homework there. But what I can say is the Spurs have lost 4 out of the last 5, including last night. They're not a good team, man. Only 11 wins, so we need to win this game. We need to win this game. Our final meeting against San Antonio Spurs, their only meeting is L.A. against us. We need to take care of business and seal the victory here. Hopefully get ourselves a blowout there so we can have more garbage time to see our young players of whom we saw last night. Jalen Hood-Schifino, who did not look good at all. He just didn't. But he did hit the last 3, and they did look like a nice 3. And I could see in the future that falling and really being a help to the team. But I just don't think he has his development going or his confidence in his uniform. And I do think he should go to the G League. I think that he should be down there probably for the rest of the season. So he can get big minutes, run stuff, traditional stuff that allow him to be a point guard. He can be, and there's no path to him getting no big minutes. Even if people get hurt, we're not going to play him, that kind of thing. So there's no sense in even having him on the big team this year at all. Skylar Mays, I want to see more of him, to be honest with you, this season. I'm excited about Skylar. He's a young player, too. He's more developed at this point, and every time we put him in the game, he does something that makes us, see him as a better player than what he's been projected to be, which is a career backup. He's just more talented than that. At the end of the day, he's just more talented than what he's been asked to do. He showed that with the Portland Trailblazers early in the season, and he showed that last night when he did a crossover move that made my eyes wide. So I want to see more Skylar Mays. Hopefully that means we do see him in, I guess, garbage time. Although I do think that we would be surprisingly happy to have him as a rotational piece. I think he would be great in that role for us off the bench. So, hopefully this is welcome back Cam Reddish. Hopefully, but I'm of the firm belief that Cam Reddish is the guy that we keep running out there too soon. And then he keeps getting hurt because of how he plays. Defensive guy, trying to do a whole lot on the offensive end, moving laterally constantly, gonna have to draw charges and stuff like that. He's the guy where if you tell me he's 100% and he's ready to go, I still want him to get in the gym and strengthen his leg further. I don't need him out there yet. I don't think he's essential in us winning this game. And every time we bring him back, he just gets hurt again. I just I'm of the mindset, if you say, okay, he's healthy, cool. Now sit him another week and put him in a gym and let him continue to strengthen the areas that were injured. He's that guy for me. I just think that we always bring him back too early and we always ask him to do too much. And he also too has to continue to develop. But I do like what I see from him defensively. I like what I see from him driving at the basket. I just don't like us asking him to shoot the three because it's really, really, really inconsistent, and he's gonna miss it more than not, it seems. So that's my thing with Cam Reddish. I think he's an asset. He's the kind of guy where you put him on the floor, you look up and the ball's in your hand off of a steal and stuff, and you're going the other way. So that's really an asset for me. I love that he's able to sneak around and take the ball from others. One of the best steals players we have. But if he ain't 100% healthy and he's always getting re-injured, it just becomes a situation where him being in and out of the lineup is very disruptive. So if we can't bring him back to stay healthy, continue to work on his conditioning and his development and practice more so than trying to throw him out there. I like the player. I want him on my team, but I don't need him being disruptive offensively, for which he is when we throw him in that starting lineup, or just in general getting hurt. So that's important to me. I felt like that needed to be said because he is a player the coach loves to run a lot, like Taurean Prince. But Taurean, at least with Taurean, you can expect him to stay out there. He's durable. He hasn't been injured very much this season. So Taurean shot pretty well last night. Of course, his limitations defensively were a little frustrating. He was getting blown past, stuff like that. But he hit the three in some key spots. Missed some too. But, we know that Taurean is, if we can't rely upon him to do nothing, he can hit that three about as well as anybody. So I just learned to respect his limitations. I think he's best off the bench behind Rui and those guys. But when you put him in that role, he's been great. So hopefully our coach can put him in that role tonight and he'll play great. You know what I'm saying? Going against San Antonio Spurs, it should be a good matchup for him to get shots off. And welcome back, Bron, man. Welcome back, Bron. Of course, we missed you last night. We really don't love how that went, but for whatever it takes for him to get healthy, that's what we'll go with. It's a big push down the stretch of the season, and we will win a championship if he's at his absolute best and AD's at his absolute best, and our team clicks at their absolute best. And I think that's what he wants to do. I ain't saying we're the championship favorites, but I am not afraid of the Western Conference like a lot of people are. And because we have the ability to be a high-level defensive team, for which was proven in the first half of the season, and a high-level offensive team, which was proven right before the All-Star break, I think we have the rare ability to keep up with anybody and stop anybody when we're at our best, especially as we continue to get more and more healthy. Now, I don't know what that means for Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt. I don't know if those guys are going to be returning this year or if we'll be a better team if they do. But what I can say is we have the elements to make ourselves a very, very formidable dark horse contender. But it's going to take LeBron James being all in on the basketball floor, leading the ship. He's going to have to lead. AD is going to be the guy that does the most work, but he's not going to lead. It has to be Bron. And if Bron isn't with us, mind, body, and soul, then we're not going anywhere. And that's just what it is. So I don't know if it's respectful to say stuff like that to the king. You got to be all in. But last night, him not playing that game, some of the body language stuff that we saw during, and after the trade deadline, I would not define that as all in. Salute to Kobe Minute. So we just got to get Bron on board, man. As he said, he don't know how many more seasons he has. This is not the type of year to just throw away. And if he's all in, the team's going to follow. These are a bunch of young guys. They're going to follow you, man. You got to believe in them like you say you do, like you did Cam Reddish earlier in the season. And they will run through a wall for you, just like anybody else in this league, pretty much. You're their GOAT. So, guys like D'Lo, it's on Bron to reel it in, man. When I look in the mirror and I see a person his age, I understand If a young person is gonna believe in themselves around me, it's gonna have to be me believing in them and believing in myself too. It's hard for me to look at my teammates not believe in them and then from them to go out there and prove to me that they are what I'm saying they're not. That doesn't necessarily work when you're as prestigious and as golden as LeBron James is. You gotta believe in them first. Then they're gonna go out there believe in themselves and run through a wall for you. But it can't be you hanging your head low or being frustrated because they're not somebody else. It's going to equate to exactly that. They're going to play like lesser, and you're not going to get what you need out of them. And so that's what I would say to LeBron James, man. Regroup. This is what we got. You know, we got to regroup, reset, and be the leader that ultimately is going to lead this team to a championship. And if you have that type of confidence, you're going to look around the Western Conference and realize you have the personnel to compete with anybody in a 7-game series. And most importantly, you have the mental edge because none of them have accomplished what you've accomplished, except for Steph Curry. You know what I mean? And it's going to take the same thing for him on his side of the fence. So we best believe it's going to, you know, Bron got to lead, man. And he's, you know, he hasn't been his best over the last 3 weeks. He hasn't. And so that's what I want to say. But all in all, you know, I'm telling y'all, I said this team was average, but with the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie, I think we're a little above average now. I think what he could do for our lineup, what he can do for our rotations, what he can do for us defensively, what he can do for playmaking, what he can do for players who are playmakers who also score and getting them the ball in their positions and stuff like that, giving us more depth defensively, making it so that we can kind of withstand a little more foul trouble with our guards and stuff like that. Spencer Dinwiddie makes us a lot better. So that's how I'm viewing this. We got to get healthy, and we got to not stand in our way, our very own way. You know what I mean? And that starts with the leaders of this team, AD, Bron, and Coach. We got to be on the same page. And if we are, I think this team could do more than what people are telling us or projecting at this point. So that's what I'm saying to y'all, man. I'm highly optimistic that this team can make the playoffs, that we can avoid the in-season tournament, but we got to win games like this tonight, man. So that's pretty much what I got to say. 7:30, BDL 44, Lakers Spurs, out.